What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the Virzi Effect podcast show. My name is Paul Virzi. You guys listening to episode 492. I am flying solo again. All right, we got some guests lined up, but you know what? I was like, you know what? I'm traveling to Texas tomorrow. A lot of shit going on. I will book my guests when I want to book my fucking guests. But you guys seem to really love when I fly solo on this. And that's what I'm going to do this week. But again, we do have some amazing guests coming on. I want to thank everybody at the top of the show for liking and subscribing the Virzi Effect podcast. I also want to thank everybody for going to my YouTube channel and subscribing. Please like, subscribe, and review the Virzi Effect podcast. We've been doing it new since the pandemic, so it's almost like a rebirth of the podcast on Zoom, on YouTube, where you could see full episodes. But if you like and review and subscribe, it goes right up to the top, or it moves up, I should say, in the ranks, and I really appreciate that. You could get the Virzi Effect podcast on iTunes, Spotify, everywhere that you get podcasts. And let's be honest, this one's a fucking banger. Okay, you guys didn't know about the Virzi Effect too much, but now you're starting to see. All right, so I appreciate so many new fans coming up to me at shows. Also, guys, subscribe, of course, to my second podcast, the other podcast, Anything Better, with my co-host, Bill Burr, where we're having such a great time. That has its own YouTube channel. Please like and subscribe that, rate that as well. And again, like I said, my personal YouTube channel and all that stuff. I'm not going to lie. I was feeling like shit today. I was feeling like I did not want to do a podcast today. I was like, what the fuck, man? Here's what happened. I haven't drank in weeks. And last night I decided to have a little bit of Pinot Noir, little bit of red wine, not much, with dinner. And I haven't had sweets in weeks. Very little sweets, trying to stay away from sugar. Last night, I have a little Pinot Noir. We had a little company. I had a little cannoli. And I went to bed nauseous. I went to the fucking bathroom. I was hovering around the toilet like I was going to grab the toilet and start ralphing like an absolute animal. I felt like I wanted to. I wanted to get any sugar, any alcohol, anything that was in my body that I have not had in my body for a long time. I wanted to throw it all up so I could go and get some decent sleep. But of course I can't. So I lay in bed, tossing and turning, nauseous all day, waking up, feeling like shit. And what is with the waking up? Why do we wake up in the morning after a couple of drinks suicidal? You ever just have like 2 or 3 drinks and you're like, oh, this is going to be fine. You wake up, you're anxious, you're guilty. The thought of a gun in your mouth is like pleasurable because you just are like, I can't go on. And if I pull the trigger, it's over. Relax. I know there's some mental health professionals listening to this go, it's a cry for help. I'm joking. I do not want to put a gun in my mouth and pull the trigger. I am just saying, when you have a couple of drinks and you wake up the next day anxious, guilty, like I could have started crying this morning, just out of nowhere. I could have just started crying because my stomach felt like shit. I have a lot of shit going on, and it's just like overwhelming. And then like you go to the bathroom, you take a shower, you get dressed, and you're like, oh, life's not that bad. What are we doing today? The roller coaster, the emotional roller coaster of even a hangover. And I got to tell you, man, when I was in my 20s, I drank 14 drinks. By noon, I was fucking skipping. I would do 14 drinks, and a couple hours later, I'm just good to go. Then in my 30s, it was a little bit like, oof, all right, we partied last night. I feel it. And then once you get to like your late 30s and 40, holy shit, like 2 glasses of wine, you like, I can't do anything until fucking next Monday. You got to plan dessert. When you get older, you got to plan dessert. You got to be like, all right, man, I'm going to have a piece of cheesecake in February. And then maybe by the summer I can have dessert again. I mean, this shit it sucks. But It's been crazy, man. Yesterday was crazy. Everybody was freaking out about that verdict. And I just knew, I'm going to be honest, like I knew that was going to be the verdict. It had to be the verdict. Everybody saw the video, the evidence of what was going on. I also have friends who are police officers who say when somebody's on their face cuffed, it's over. So that was completely excessive. I knew that was going to happen. And let's be honest, if that didn't happen, it would have been a whole other thing. So, but I feel like that was a good, and I don't want to get too into it. I know people, when they listen to podcasts and comedy podcasts, they want to be away from all that shit, right? They want to escape from it. And that's what it is. But, I was watching and I was like, it's a good thing for our country. It's a good thing for our country what happened yesterday. Okay. In my belief. All right. And I just think that it's something where it was like something really fucked up happened and was done and justice was served. And that's what it is. So I think we go on, and I just hope moving forward, we don't have to fucking deal with anything awful like that. Like I said on the last show, let's just have a break for a while. Let's just go back and enjoy the restaurants, enjoy the comedy clubs. I want to thank the fans of the Virzi Effect who came out to the stand over the weekend. I performed at the stand in New York City. They're doing 33% capacity, but the room is big, so it still looked amazing. Everybody who came up asked for pictures. Oh, here's a funny one. This is a really funny one. So I was at the stand on Friday, and I have a show downstairs and I have a show upstairs. So after the show, people coming up, people saying nice shit. Paul, so nice to see you perform, man. It was great to see you again. A big fan, big fan of both of your podcasts. You mind if I get a picture? Blah, blah, blah. I saw you here once. It was really nice. So people are doing that. So then I'm outside and I'm smoking a cigar, and I'm just hanging out. And some dude walks up and he goes, "Hey, man, really love the podcast. I actually listen to both of your podcasts, the one that you and Burr do, and the Virzi Effect and everything." And I'm like, "Oh, cool." And the dude's phone is out, and the phone is like facing me. So he's standing there, he's with his girl, and he's like, "Oh, I love the thing." And the phone's out. So me, being the nice dickhead that I am, overly nice sometimes, I was like, "Oh man, do you want a picture?" And the dude just goes, no, man, it's cool. And I was just like, that shit was like, it reminded me of In Along Came Polly, Philip Seymour Hoffman, rest his soul, his character, where he's like, "You want a picture?" The guy goes, "No, I'm cool." And he just goes, "Yeah." But in my defense, people were asking me for pictures. And then this dude puts his phone out and starts telling me that he likes my podcasts and he liked seeing my show. And then the camera's like facing me. So I'm just like, "Do you want it?" He's like, "No." So I ain't doing that shit no more. I'm not getting caught out there anymore. Okay, you guys want a picture with me? Come up, you ask. As long as you're not a lunatic, I will take a picture with you, but I'm not getting caught out there. I'm not getting caught out there again. If the dude is listening to this, that was hilarious. I appreciate you, man. It's really, really funny shit, though. We were just talking about it, and we're just laughing. Because it's like, if the dude's phone wasn't out, I wouldn't have done that. I don't think I would have been like, "Hey, man, you want a picture?" But when somebody's phone is in their hand and they're saying that they like your shit and they're a fan of your shit, then I tried to be the nice guy, and I got bit in the ass. I got bit in the ass from it. So I learned, you live and you learn. So things are kind of settled down now after what happened, with the cat. I want to thank everybody also on the Virzi Effect, all the Virzi Effect listeners who reached out and said that they were sorry. A lot of you guys didn't know what happened, and you were like, "Oh, don't let the cat suffer." Of course, the cat did not suffer. The cat was never in any pain at all. And I just did the right thing, did what I had to do. Luckily, I knew the woman there. She had told me if it was her cat, she would have done the same thing. His heart was failing, his lungs and all that. But anyway, all you people that reached out, man, I didn't think something like that would mean as much, or I didn't think the emotion would be as much. But, uh, it meant a lot. It meant a lot. And it meant a lot to like have like both men and women and people reaching out going, hey man, that's a part of the family for 16 years. And I hear you and I understand it. And now we have our other cat who is Thomas's brother. And it sucks because I don't, he's not really looking for him or crying, but like he's going around smelling things. I think the animals, they say the animals know when a housemate is not there. So now the dog and this one cat now, because it used to be the two cats and the dog, now it's one dog, one cat, and they're trying to figure this shit out. And it just sucks, man. It's just like, you know, and my cat is old, so we got to make sure he's taken care of and he's good. So I'm telling you, I'm not doing this shit again. I'm not after my two animals that I have now go. And I don't mean to be rude, but like, I really don't care as much about like hamsters and guinea pigs and shit. Like I'll feel bad, but like, you know, my son had a goldfish that he won at a fair and he had the thing for 6.5 years. The thing was on its fourth tank. It was like this big. And like, even that was like, okay, like, oh shit. All right. It happened. And that's it. So, but I'm done with this. Like I wanted a Great Dane. I talked about this on an Instagram live I did. I wanted a Great Dane. And then people were like, they're beautiful dogs, but you got 7 years. I'm not doing that. I'm not falling in love with something. You get a routine with the thing after a year or two, everything is fine. It knows the yard. And then all of a sudden at 5 years old, the thing is like 90 in dog year. I'm not fucking doing that. I'm not going in and looking at an animal that loves me and that I love and have it look at me going, I'm done. I'm not doing it. And, you know, I wanted to mention something here on the show. I mentioned it on my Instagram live. It's a sad thing, what I'm about to say, but it's true. And the reason why I wanted to bring it up, I brought it up to the people on my Instagram live the other night because they're diehard fans. But if you're listening to the Virzi Effect right now, you're a diehard fan. I really appreciate you. I know I told you I got some announcements going on. We do have a deal in place for the special. So the special is going to be made this summer. We have a deal, and unless anything falls apart in the next 2 days, you know, so you guys are going to be seeing the special. That much I can give you on the announcement, but when we can really announce it, you guys will see it. But I figured, you know, I figured that since you guys are diehards and you guys are real fans, I will share this story with you. This is a warning here. Speaking of warning, we have a thunderstorm coming to New York in the next hour or two. That's supposed to be like biblical. They're saying like blinding rain, you know, which I fucking love. So I'm glad that's happening today and not tomorrow because I got to fly out of here. But warning that this is a sad story. But the reason why I wanted to tell this story, I didn't tell it on last week when I talked about my cat being put down, because I kind of felt like it was personal and I should keep it. But then I realized, no, man, Paul, these people love you. These people listen to you. And if you can help somebody or make somebody realize something, then do that. And if you guys think it's nonsense and it's nothing, then that's fine too. All right. But I wanted to give you the real shit and the real stuff that's going on in my life, in my world, and all that stuff while I'm trying to build this comedy hour and travel and do stand-up and do all these things. Life goes on, right? So if you get sensitive, you get sensitive. You might not care. So the day that I brought Thomas, I left this out, like I said, the day that I brought Thomas to the vet when I knew that he was done, I remembered my son saying something. My son had said to me over the years, there was a song that Marshmello guy made, such a ridiculous thing to like try to talk about something serious and be like, yeah, you know, Marshmello, but yeah, that grown man named fucking Marshmello, that fucking grown man that has that song. He did that song Happier. And, you know, it says lately I've been thinking, I wish that you'd be happier. I want you to be happier. That song, right? So my son tells me, that song came out like a couple years ago, right? And my son says, I don't like that song Happier, man. It's really sad. And I go, what do you mean? He goes, yeah, it's about this dying dog. And I go, what do you mean? He goes, the video is super sad. I don't like it. So the day that I'm bringing Thomas to the vet, which I think is going to be the last day of his life, I'm on my bed and I'm in my emotion and I'm just in pain because I know something's going on. I know a loss is coming or a miracle, but you know, I kind of was reading the writing on the wall, especially the way this big, beautiful cat was looking at me. You know, and it sucks too, because he was a big, beautiful cat, big face, like there was like expression. It wasn't like some little fucking scared, fucking skinny cat that's under a bed. Like this was our guy. So I said, let me see what my son's talking about. And I don't know why, but I get on the phone and I'm watching the video. This is before I take him. And I'm watching the video. And if you don't know, the video of the song Happier is of this little girl. And she's kind of upset or whatever. And she blows out the candles of her birthday party. And then a puppy shows up and she gets a puppy and she's happy. And then the whole video is her and the puppy growing up together. And like a movie montage, they're seeing how they're getting taller against the door with the pencil on the head, over the head, you know, making the mark on the door, how big they're getting. And her and this dog are growing up together and they're best friends. And then towards the end of the video, of course, the dog gets sick and old and they go to the vet and the dog is laying on its side on the table and the girl's crying. And the father comes in and he looks at the daughter and he shakes his head as if to say, like, there's nothing that they could do. It's time. And the girl's crying. And I'm looking at this thing, knowing that I'm going to probably be dealing with this in the next hour or so. And I just turn it off and I'm like, what are you doing? You fucking glutton for emotion and pain. And I'm just dealing with the shit. Right. And, you know, I could talk about this now because I'm okay. I've come to terms and I understand that my cat had a great life and all that. But I get the cat, I put him in the cat taxi and we go out there and he's having, like I said, he was even laboring to breathe. It was tough. And the lady comes out and I had recognized her from she used to work at the vet I go to. Now she's at this beautiful animal hospital and I'm talking to her and I'm glad it was her. You know, I felt like that was a sign. I felt like that was meant to be. I'm in tune with that shit. That's just how I am. I believe in that. I believe you have to look for signs. I believe you have to see things and I believe things come to you. And I believe some people, holy shit, guys, I'm looking out my window. The sky is getting like fucking green and the wind is going and the trees are going and it is about to get real. It's funny as I'm telling this story. So anyway, so I believe in all those signs and you got to see things. And this lady, I'm hurting at the time. I'm hurting. I'm not crying. I'm just down. She comes out and I'm talking to her and she's looking at Thomas. She's going, oh, Thomas. And she goes, let me take him in and take a look and I'll get back to you. And she goes in and she takes the cat in and I'm just sitting in the car and I start reminiscing about what happened, like me buying him as a kitten for my wife when she was 26. And here we are 16 years later or whatever. And all that stuff. And guys, I swear to God, that song Happier just randomly came on the radio while they took him. I'm getting the chills saying that right now. While they took him, that song just came on. And I knew in that moment that was probably going to be it, which it was. She came out and said, if it was my cat, I'd put him down as hard as, you know, all this stuff and lungs. But that song came on. And this is not a song that's on all the time anymore. This song is a couple years old, but that song came on. Now, what made me watch that my son said that? Think about that for a second. So I'm either crazy and you don't believe in it and you're like, oh, this is just a good story for a podcast or whatever. Or something made me look at that video that my son said was sad. And then that song came on to kind of let me know the cat will be happier when it's gone. And I got the chills right now through my body saying that. So I didn't share that with you guys last week because I wanted that for me. But I realized that if I can help you and you can see signs and you can feel things like that in this fucking rough, brutal, crazy, sad, amazing life and world that we live in, then I give you that because those are the things that you need to look out for. So I remember being a kid and hearing, oh, when we left the funeral, a song with his name came on, or whoa, when we did this. And I used to be like, whatever, that's people just trying to find something. But I don't know about that, man. I don't know. I think that there's a lot to that. I think it means something. I think that um I think that stuff like that is special. And I don't mean to make anybody sad. I know this is a comedy podcast. Believe me, we're going to get to the funny. All right, I'm going to Texas this week. I'm going to eat like a fucking pig. The portions are ridiculous. We're going to have a good time. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about how they've been living COVID free out in Texas for fucking. We're going to talk about all that. All right, I'm getting my second Moderna shot on Sunday. I'm probably going to be sick as a dog, and I'm nervous about that. We're going to talk about that. But I just wanted to let you guys know that I believe in things, and I opened my mind to it, and it helped. And, so, and I always think that there's a purpose for things. So do what you will with that. Yes, I am going to Texas. I am going to Dallas, Addison Improv this Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. I'm excited about that. I've never seen a portion of nachos like I've seen when I went to Dallas. I've never seen food and bigger shit than that. I love going to Texas because there's an element. I'm sorry, I'm not on coke. I'm itchy right here. I shaved right here and I think I missed a spot. Anyway, I love just seeing like shit kicking cowboy boots at the airport and the hat. And dudes just walking around like it's 1872 in 2021. We got robot dogs that are like sniffing out cocaine and like, taking out terrorists. And then you got a guy walking in like fucking Billy the Kid hanging out at the fucking airport lounge at Newark or whatever, going to Dallas. I love that shit. But Dallas makes me laugh because the people there, they're just big, tough, overeating. Just it really is like it's America in a nutshell. Texas really feels like that. I mean, everywhere is America. I get that. But when you go to Texas, you go to Oklahoma, you go to the middle of the country, a little south or whatever, it's just fucking American flags, pickup trucks, dudes just eating like yeah, man, let me get that fucking 52-ounce steak and potatoes and throw the asparagus on the side, and you're just like, yeah. And then I'm gonna get a little apple pie with a fucking go hunt with my dog in the morning. I love that shit. And the older I get, I love it more. No, I'm not going hunting. I'm going to tell dick jokes really in a strip mall is where I'm going. I'm literally performing at the Addison Improv, which I believe is on top of a fucking Jimmy John's, but I'm going to Texas nonetheless. I'm going to smoke cigars. I'm gonna have a great time out there. And yeah, guys, I'm getting a little nervous because my second Moderna shot is coming Sunday. They told me that people that usually get sick have antibodies and they've had COVID. I have antibodies. I had COVID. They told me that my first shot was basically like my second because I already had antibodies. So now I'm getting juiced for a second time, which technically is the third time antibodies are hitting me. And I'm told it could be a rough 48 hours. Not looking forward to that. It sucks when you drive yourself to some shit that that you're gonna pay for. I'm driving myself to do this, have them put it in my arm, and then you just got to sit home waiting to get 101 fever, feeling like shit and shivers. And you really don't know what it is because, Johnson & Johnson comes back with blood clots. I don't want all of a sudden, the Moderna one, you lose a second toe. The toe goes numb and you think it's going to go away. They cut the toe off, but you'll never get COVID. Like, I don't know what the fuck's going to happen. Apparently my body beat the shit the first time. I could have just left it alone, but I want to be able to travel and get the card and go to games and do that stuff. So I'm going to get my my second shot. And I just hope that the Somebody said something funny to me. They go, "Oh, you got the first strand because you got it the month of lockdown." So somebody said you got the OG. They actually said this to me. They go, "You got the OG COVID, which is the strongest one." The OG COVID, because it's like, now there's a lot of COVIDs. There's a lot of strands of it. You got the OG. Like my COVID is just sitting on a stoop, smoking a cigar or a cigarette, looking at the other strands. Like, man, look at this bullshit Brazilian strand. Fuck out of here, man. I was taking people out. I was fucking people up. I'm the one with the loss of smell and taste, but the Moderna was the first. The Moderna was, holy shit. Wow. It is, what is it? It's 3:00 in the afternoon and it is fucking hell outside right now. There's a UPS driver my dog won't bite him because he's inside. But the Moderna was the OG of the vaccination. And I got that too. So I'm like, I got the original, like the Jordan ones. I got that Moderna one. I got the Moderna one and I got the COVID one. Now there's like, if it was Jordan's, now it's like the COVID sixes are out. You had your South African, you had your Brazilian. I got the first one, the 1988 dunk contest. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, guys. All I know is life is slowly getting better. It felt good to be in the city telling jokes again, but I will tell you, there was a pain in the ass. There was a offended person in the crowd in New York. I hate to talk about New York City this way. This is my home. This is where I got good at what I do. This is where I really got my chops in stand-up. And this is where all the anxiety and the good sets and the bad sets and the driving into Manhattan and that feeling of excitement and doing that was all in New York. But I got to tell you, New York crowds, not the greatest anymore. Okay. For the most part, yeah. But there's just this like, I'm on stage and I did my WNBA joke and one guy was like, misogynist. And then I did another joke and they were like, oh my God. And it's like, it's still there. And unfortunately, man, it doesn't happen other places. I got to be honest. And as much as I hate to say this, and I love New York, man, I put New York first always. But like, even when I went out to LA, they were less offended. I don't know what is going on in New York, but, but then for the most part, then there are the tables that are laughing and love it. And you have that too. So it is a mix of everything. And listen, not everybody's going to love your shit, but this wasn't like somebody not liking a joke. This was somebody like, oh my God, you're a misogynist. And I'm going like, I'm telling a joke. You fucking child. You guys hear that? Thunder? Is there anything better than when it's pitch black and dark in an afternoon and it starts pouring raining and you sit there and you're just enjoying being inside? You don't have to have that guilty feeling of not being outside because it's beautiful. Well, let's go get some smoothies and walk in the park. It's like, or we could sit in this fucking hailstorm and we can play video games and watch movies and hopefully sporting events. And we just sit inside without any guilt. That's the type of life I want to live. That's the type of shit I want to do. You guys listen to the Virzi Effect 492. I got a surprise for you for episode 500. I cannot wait. It's going to be epic and it's going to be fun and it's going to mean a lot to me. It's going to mean a lot to the Virzi Effect. And I cannot wait to get that guest on. There's going to be some other guests on. I think I told you guys that my good friend, we're going to make an official announcement, but I will say it here. I will say it here. Should I say it here or could I get in trouble? Actually, I shouldn't have said that. I could get in trouble. If I mentioned it before, you guys know it, but a good friend of mine and somebody you all know will be making their directorial debut with my special, and we're going to do something really cool with that. Let's talk about the Jake Paul All right, let's just talk about the Jake Paul, Ben Askren, absolute debacle, circus, debauchery, the shittiest element of mankind that was that event. Luckily, my good friend Giannis Papas came over to the house and we watched the UFC fight, the real fights. Okay. And I stupidly bought this $50 thing just to see if a UFC fighter who was 19-2 was going to beat somebody who's, boxing. I'm not saying the kid doesn't have some boxing chops, but like somebody that's not a professional fighter, a YouTuber and all that stuff, and see what happens. And I mean, Justin Bieber did a concert. Fucking Snoop Dogg is just smoking weed. What the fuck was Oscar De La Hoya doing? Oscar De La Hoya was like a drunk fucking high school chick. And it was a shit show. It was an absolute shit show. The lowest. Shout out to Pete Davidson for at least calling it a circus while he was there. For at least going, this fucking place is so shitty. If I'm hosting it, this is a circus. This is dumb. At least he said that shit. So shout out to Pete. I love Pete. You guys know Pete and I are friends. But like that was, I couldn't believe the debauchery I was watching. You want to talk about a dumpster fire it was like watching an abandoned building burning and you're squinting your eyes going, what the fuck am I watching? Justin Bieber comes out. Then like they were showing like the rehearsal of this unorganized, like musical sets. And then it went to it. It was like the most, I don't even know what to say. All I could say was, if that's where we are as a society, watching that shit, listen, good for Jake Paul if he wants to box and fight people that are professional fighters, and he does good. But can we make it like a real regular fight? Do I have to see, like, what were they in a warehouse? There's some like fucking warehouse. It looked like, it looked like if one bolt got loose, it was just going to be a bunch of fucking metal rubble on an artist's head. What the fuck was that? The sound was off. Why was it smaller and sounded shitty? Here's the beauty of it. If you buy that, you deserve to lose the money. If anybody listening to my podcast right now, okay, is actually excited to watch something like that again, you are either a fucking brain dead moron or you hate yourself, because that was the worst shit. That Jake Paul, Ben Askren came in there looking like he just ate 3 Twinkies and he's my fucking uncle on the Thanksgiving couch. That was one of the worst displays of debauchery I've seen. Guy's got his gut hanging over his shorts. Didn't even get a haircut. Looked like he rolled out of bed. He was wearing a shiny fucking robe. I don't even know what I watched. If they beat the shit out of puppies with a wiffle ball bat, I would have been like it would have been the same feeling. That's what it was like. It was like watching, it was like a painful, I don't even know what I saw. I honestly don't even know what I saw. TikTok chicks handing out plastic belts that it looks like you could buy at Walmart. I mean, what the fuck is going on in 2021? I mean, it was, me and Giannis kept switching back and forth, looking at each other going, this is one of the worst. I can honestly say this. That was one of the worst productions and things that I've witnessed on television since I've been alive. That's the God's honest truth. Since I've been alive, okay, that's one of the worst things that I have ever fucking seen since I've been alive on a television set. And I've seen some bad movies. I've seen some bad acting. All right. But that was just, I mean, if you're going to fight, man, put some effort into it, Ben. Yeah, I believe that he took a dive. I believe, if we're talking real here, okay, it's the Virzi effect. I'm going to talk real here. I believe Jake Paul or Jake Paul's people told Ben, hey, man, I'm going to give you $500,000, whatever it is. You can get a lot of money. All right. We know you're not a boxer, but you are a professional fighter. We want to give him some legitimacy. So, let's see what happens. Maybe he thought, but I just think it was one of those things. I'm not saying a full-fledged dive, but you don't go into a fight looking like that if you're taking it seriously. Okay. Not to mention, if you watch it again, his gloves are low. He's not even covering his face. That was a setup, guys. That was a fucking fixed setup. This is all a show, and we're the assholes. Fuck that. I'm never buying it again. I hope you never buy it again. All right. That was like watching like your rowdy drunk friend just fight a fat uncle who's got a fucking bad knee. It was, I can't even believe I'm talking about it. It was like watching a car accident and then the people getting out of the car on fire and then, getting hosed down while like Snoop and other celebrities are smoking a blunt, laughing at it. Going, yeah, that was the worst. That was the worst, man. That was absolutely the fucking worst. Anyway, guys, next week I will have a guest on the show. I'm not going to tell you who, but I'll have a guest on the show next week. All right. And if you are in Texas, I told the people of Oklahoma City this, I will tell you. I am doing the best hour I've ever done. I'm having more fun on stage than I've ever had. Come out to the Addison Improv in the Dallas area. Addison Improv this Thursday, Friday, Saturday, April 22nd to the 24th. You will not be disappointed. Come out. I'm basically fully vaxxed, but I will be safe. If you're vaxxed and you're safe, it's all good. We're going to have a good time. The club is safe. The club is making sure people are taken care of. All right. So come out there. Also, if you are in Tampa, Florida, I will be at Side Splitters in Tampa Bay, May 20th through the 23rd. If you are in Austin, Texas, June 11th and 12th, I'll be at the Vulcan Gas Company Friday and Saturday. If you are in Salt Lake City, Utah, I will be at Wise Guys Comedy Club, June 25th and 26th. All of those dates are at paulvirzi.com. Guys, also tune in to one of the best podcast episodes I've ever done in my life with being a guest on Are You Garbage with my good friend, my buddy who opens for me, Kevin Ryan. Also another one of my good friends, H. Foley. We had such a great time. That drops tonight into tomorrow. So check that out. Hope to see you at a show. This has been the Virzi Effect episode 492. I love you guys. Thank you guys for having my back and listening to me and being there for me, not only when things are good and I'm up, but also when I'm a little down as well. I really do appreciate you. If you're a new fan and you just subscribed, thank you. If you're an OG, thank you guys. What else can I say? I hope to see you guys soon. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Hope to see you at a show. Subscribe to the Anything Better podcast. And until then, I'm out of here. Shout out to the great producer, Andrew Themeles, who will have this out for you as soon as possible. Enjoy. I hope to see you guys in Texas or any of those cities I mentioned. I will talk to you soon.